1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spots on my face. Too much acne to embrace the person behind them. Zits on my back with heads bright white, scarlet and black, in much too much an awkward place to pop them.
What's up everyone, it's Krist here. So, literally what? You've probably never seen this part of my room before, but this part exists. Okay, let's get straight to the point. Today, I'm going to be making pimple popping cupcakes. What? So, a bakery called Blessed by Baking created the original pimple popping cupcake, and I believe Dr. Sandra Lee, aka Dr. Pimple Popper, she reposted this on Facebook, and as soon as I saw it, I wanted to make a video about it. And then recently I saw that Threadbanger made a video recreating the pimple popping cupcake, and I was like, I swear I was gonna do this a long time ago, but I was just waiting for Halloween. I don't know why I feel like something disgusting like this just seems like the Halloween thing to do. Like, it's so disgusting. Oh my goodness, Dr. Lee is actually a YouTuber. She has over 1 million subscribers, and all of her videos are just her popping the most disgusting pimples. I can't, like, I literally cannot. All I did was quickly scroll through the thumbnails and I just could not, like. But anyway, it's a part of life, it's natural. Dude, I should just get on with the video already. So I decided to recreate it, but I'm not gonna be including any dairy or eggs, so it is vegan friendly, bonus points, and let us begin. Alright, so there are 3 phases for the pimple popping cupcake. Phase Isa. Number 1, you gotta make the foundation, which is the cake. Or in this case, what's underneath the skin? I don't know. The fat? Yeah. This is a 2-ingredient cake, and it is the easiest thing in the entire world, and it tastes bomb. All I did was take the Duncan Hines Classic Yellow Cake box mix, and the second ingredient that you're gonna need is 12 ounces of some sparkling water. I just got this one from Target. It is the peach mango, and this is my new favorite thing. Honestly, if you love soda, try this instead. I hate soda actually. I hate carbonated stuff, but this is not bad. I was trying to measure out 12 ounces of the sparkling water, and then this happened. Literally story of my life. Don't shake before opening. Please learn from my mistakes. Literally story of my life. So I just poured the sparkling water, mixed it all together for maybe a few minutes. There were a little bit of lumps here and there, but that's okay. I think it turned out okay. Then I put in the cupcake holders into the baking tin, and I totally forgot to spray it with a non-sticking spray, but I ended up doing that later with the second tray. That is literally it. You just follow the box instructions, and I put it in the oven for 18 minutes at 350 degrees, and it came out perfect. So easy. And I got to skip all of the oil and all of the eggs. Life hack. Oh my gosh, this is a life hack you need to try. But no, really, this is a really cool life hack. You should try it. All right, moving on to phase Dalawa, which is the puss. This took me a couple tries because nobody's perfect, okay? I tried making like a vegan custard. For my first attempt, I tried 1 cup of soy milk with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, half a teaspoon of agar-agar powder, a pinch of turmeric, 4 tablespoons of maple syrup, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then I mixed it well with the spatula. Then I simmered the whole thing on medium heat until it started to thicken. The custard was beige. The custard was the color of my skin. The custard was not a pus color. It was like the color of skin juice. What? Ew. Like a skin smoothie? No. Ew. Stop. Skin pudding? No. Stop. Yeah, it just basically was not a pus color. I tried adding in yellow food coloring. It just did not help. It just made it look like an Asian. I'm just kidding. Wow, that's bad. I basically decided to try it again because Krist Soup does not give up. I needed that pus color. I desired that pus color. I went to Target. I got some unsweetened coconut milk this time, which I knew would be white. So I basically did the exact same thing, except this time, again, I used the unsweetened coconut milk instead of soy milk. And then instead of maple syrup, since the maple syrup was really dark and also I used up all of my maple syrup, I decided to use some sugar. Yeah, so I just basically put it over the fire and simmered it and stirred and stirred and stirred, and it doesn't do anything for the first like couple minutes, and you're like, is this gonna thicken? And do not worry, it does thicken eventually. And then I put it aside, put it in the fridge so that we can move on to phase. Oh no! When did you die? So that we can move on to phase tatlo. Shout out to the Filipinos watching out there. Maybe next time I'll choose your language. So the very last phase is creating the fondant, which is the skin. This is probably going to be the most time consuming, but it's pretty fun. All you're gonna need is 1 to 2 pounds of powdered sugar and 1 packet of dandies. Dandies are basically vegan marshmallows, so they're gelatin free, and these are the mini vanilla marshmallows. It says all natural, don't know what that means, but okay. I ended up making a shiz ton of fondant. I literally bought a stand mixer for this video, by the way. I literally went downstairs and back upstairs to get this box to show you the stand mixer that I bought just for this video, by the way. Yeah, if you want to support me on Patreon, I'll leave the link down below, but seriously, you don't have to support me if you don't want to or you can't. But if you want to, it's there. Moving on. So what I did was I put in the whole packet of marshmallows over a pot of boiling water in the stand mixer bowl. Did that make any sense? And I just added 1/4 cup of water and stirred the mixture until the marshmallows completely melted. Then I used the paddle attachment on my stand mixer. I mixed it on high for literally like 10 seconds. And then I started to slowly add in the confectioner's sugar at like a medium speed, and please put it slowly because at one point I got impatient and I added in a ton and then it went poof right up my face, so don't do that. And I ended up using about a pound in the mixer, and then when I felt like it was enough for me to start mixing with my hand, I took everything out of the bowl, I dusted some powdered sugar onto the surface, and I started kneading like a mofo. I kneaded and I kneaded and I kneaded and I kneaded and I kneaded for a really long time. I just constantly added more and more powdered sugar until I got what felt like the consistency of Play-Doh. Fondant is basically sugar dough, and so I just turned on some music. This was actually so therapeutic. Yeah, I just kept on kneading and kneading and kneading and kneading, and eventually I got the consistency that I wanted. So I basically took the whole thing and I cut it in half, and then I cut that half in half, and then I cut that half in half, and then I cut that half in half. But at this point, I have a nice white base, but obviously we're making skin, so we want skin colored fondant. So what I did was I used these pastel gel food colorings. So for the biggest piece of fondant that I cut, fondant, I mixed in pink food coloring, and I had to put in a whole ton of pink food coloring in there, and by this time my camera died, but I did not stop. And then eventually I got my 4 different colors and I was ready to mix it all together. So I got the pink, then I got the green, then I got the yellow, and then I got the blue, and then I mixed it all together, and once again I needed to knead and knead and knead and again. Yeah, it's a process. I technically could have used my mixer that I bought. I actually wanted to knead it by hand, so I don't know. And actually when I first started kneading, it created this beautiful like bath bomb colorful mix. It eventually turned into the beautiful color of skin. Actually, out of all the fondant that I needed, I only needed like less than 1/4 of it. Oh my gosh, I just made some kind of pun somehow. So I have no idea what I'm gonna do with all the rest of the fondant that I created, but whatever. Found this cup that was the perfect size of the cupcake. And I also used the cap of the gel food coloring. So find whatever you could use as like a cookie cutter, stencil, mababer. And last but not least, I needed to create the blood. I just used some dark chocolate syrup and then I just added a ton of red food coloring. I just kind of totally improv this, so I just used Q-tips and I started off with the darker blood shade. I think the key to it is to add very little. Make it very subtle and then fade it out. That is the key, to just keep on dabbing it out. So that would be like the first layer of blood, kind of like the dried blood layer. And then I would go back with the Q-tip and use plain red food coloring and put it on the inner edges so that it looked more like the fresh blood that comes out just around the pus. Ugh, I know. What am I saying? What is my life right now? And now it is time for the assembly. So I went back to my fridge to get the pus and I realized that the pus turned into jello. I just put it back in the pot and I just stirred it once again. Looked like a literal piece of human lard being melted away. It was okay. It ended up being okay. If you don't want your pus to harden into jello, you don't have to add the agar-agar powder to the custard or the custard. Anyway, so then taking my cupcake, I just used a knife. You can technically get one of those fancy Wilton baking bags with the squeezer to properly fill your cupcake, but you know, I chose to go the ghetto fab forever route and just use a knife and literally just knife a little circle in there, eat the inside, you know, because you can't waste the inside. And then I just filled it up with the custard and I realized that I also needed some kind of glue for the fondant. So I just kind of spread a thin layer of the custard on top of the cupcake too. Then I just gently put on the skin. Ta-da! It is time for a Krist taste test. So I don't know if you could see. The skin is very wrinkly, but I guess that works for the disgusting factor. Like this is what skin looks like when it's dry and cracked. And then there's the pus, and surrounding the pus is this kind of greasy layer, like oozing out like a real pimple when that happens. This is not gross at all. Oh wow, that's delicious. Are you grossed out by this? I'm not grossed out by it. What a scrumptious little pimple I just ate. At the end of the day, it's literally just sugar and cupcakes and obviously it's gonna be good. Let me know if you like this video by liking this video. Thank you so much to these following people for supporting me on Patreon. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'll leave the link to my Patreon page down below. Be excited for my upcoming videos because I'm excited. You excited? This happens every single time. I don't want to leave you, but I have to leave you. Bye! I've never filmed this late at night. My calendar is...
9 o'clock.
It's 9 o'clock. My calendar is still on March. I think I need to get my life together.